Hi, I'm Tracy Heatley and I thank you for tuning in to the Better Marketing Podcast, bringing you marketing magic in minutes. This is the podcast for service-based business owners, including professional services and solopreneurs. Those of you that want to get your marketing to sound like them, feel aligned and attract the right clients without feeling like you're pretending to be someone else. If that's you, today, we're talking about the hidden power of your brand voice, sounding like you everywhere. Because brand voice is not just about words, it's about identity, it's about consistency, and it's about confidence. So let's start by focusing on what brand voice really is. Your brand voice is the personality behind your marketing. As a service-based business, it's about the tone you use. It's about the phrases that you repeat, the rhythm of your communication, the way you explain things, and the value that comes through in your messaging. It's not about copying someone else's style either. It's about sounding the right level for you. So for me, it might be about not sounding corporate and sounding personal. But for other businesses, you might need to sound quite corporate. It's about understanding your market, understanding your clients, and making sure that your tone of voice aligns with them and aligns with you and what you want and how you want to portray yourself and your service and your business. It's not about being louder than anyone else either. It's about sounding like you consistently across every platform and every media or whatever it is that you're using for your marketing. There needs to be alignment there. There needs to be consistency with your brand voice. So let's focus on why brand voice matters. It matters because people recognise you. People trust you. People feel connected to you in a crowded marketplace. And let's face it, there's a ton of businesses that are offering the same or similar services to you. And that recognition is powerful. Let me share with you a client story that I think that you'll perhaps be able to relate to. I recently worked with one of my mentoring clients, and this particular client is based in the northwest of England, like me. And we were talking about positioning her services and positioning her business in the market. So you kind of develop a brand voice as well as it being quite natural. You still got to think about it to make sure that it's aligned. So there's an element of strategy there with it. And we were talking about this. And she described herself, these are her words, not mine. She described herself as a brash northerner and said that she didn't want to tone it down. And I said, well, why should you? So let's embrace that. The authenticity is part of what makes her relatable. It reflects her values, it reflects her sense of humour and her confidence. So we lead with that proudly. She's a proud northern lass and she's not afraid to show it. And why should she be? They're your personal choices as well, I think, with this as well. It's got to align with your prospects and your clients, and there's got to be a match there. But I guess it comes down to authenticity as well, doesn't it? So when you embrace who you are, your marketing becomes lighter, it becomes more natural and more effective. So let me share with you 3 action points that you can take away from this and you can start using to help develop your own brand voice or refreshing it if need be. So first of all, have a look and audit your last 5 pieces of content. It might be social media content, it might be blog, it might be articles, it might be a podcast, whatever it is. Look at your content and just assess, do they sound like you? And I suppose also with that, does it feel aligned? Does it feel natural? Does it feel like you're being yourself? And then identify 3 words that describe your personality and make sure that they show up in your marketing. Check for consistency across your website, LinkedIn, emails and proposals. Do they align? Does your brand voice shine through? And then let's look at authority and voice. Brand voice also supports authority. If you listen to the previous episode about building authority online, you'll know that authority is about being known for something specific. Your voice helps reinforce that positioning. If you haven't yet listened to that episode, I'd go back and have a little listen to that. Now, inside my strategy cycle program, we map out your brand voice. We sort out your positioning together, and we make sure that your marketing messages are clear and aligned. And I do the same, actually, to be fair, in my 2-hour AI marketing training sessions as well. Because with those sessions, I'm usually using ChatGPT to train people, but I'm doing live work on their business whilst I'm training them to do that. So it's really important that we get this right. And if you're going to use AI effectively, you need to know what your brand voice is, because you need to train your AI. If you're using generative AI, you need to train it to understand your brand voice in order for you to get the most out of your marketing using AI. So it's really important on both those fronts, which is why I wanted to cover it in this podcast episode for you. So my hope is that going away from this podcast, when you finish listening to it, I want you to have some key takeaways. First of all, that brand voice builds trust. And trust is vital when you're a service-based business, isn't it? Consistency strengthens authority. And we've already established that authority is really important, especially if you want to be known as a thought leader in your industry. And authenticity attracts the right clients. And let's face it, we all want to attract the right ideal dream clients that we want to work with. And authenticity helps you do that. So getting your brand voice right is important. And you'll know if it's right because you'll be attracting the right clients. It will feel aligned to you. You'll feel quite natural doing your marketing because you won't be pretending to be something that you're not, for example. So think about the authenticity of it. I want you to take that away from this episode. Next time, I'll be talking about when to rethink. This is really important because sometimes we develop a marketing strategy and we run with it and it needs tweaking. It's got to be monitored and sometimes it needs tweaking. So what we're going to look at is when to recognise the right time to refresh your marketing strategy. I'm going to give you some action points on that and some key takeaways there as well. So I hope you found this useful. I hope you take these takeaways and start working on this. I'm a chartered marketer. I'm also a certified AI marketing training professional. I specialise in working with service-based businesses. If you need some help with this, do get in touch. You can book a discovery call through my website. There's loads of free resources on there that you can download and you'll find useful. And if you haven't done so already and you're on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. Send me a connection request. Drop me a message to say that you listen to the podcast and I'd love to connect to you. But if nothing else, take away these tips that I've given you in this episode and take action with them, and that will get you on the right path to developing your brand voice. In the meantime, as always, remember, better marketing means better business.